Hey folks, this is your host Mike Pugh of the FPC Virtual Channel, and I believe we are live. What's up? What's up? What's going on? What we're doing today, we're covering a Blender video, but by the way, we utilized in my previous video, my previous live session, we utilized DeepMotion. It's a really dope option for folks who are into animation. If you're into 3D modeling and you want to animate a human character, kind of like this character here, really cool looking boy character or kid, you can actually do it just using your webcam and utilizing the DeepMotion platform that's available on the cloud on an actual website location that they have through their server, and they provide the tooling and everything is built in for you, and all you have to do is pretty much have a webcam on your computer and at least have software that could accept and export of an FBX file, which is an animatable file that allows you to get that file animated on another software like Blender. So let me bring you over real quick to Blender so you can see what I did. So this is one of my animatable files that I actually got out as an export. I did a custom actual design using a third-party software, not actual DeepMotion. So I used the custom rig through an actual animation, human generation software, I should say. So it generates 3D human characters and it's known as Make Human. So I used Make Human to create her. I also have another character. Let me see if I can get it to that character. This is the one I actually want to show y'all folks in terms of what I did for what I'm going to be doing for the improvements on it. I'm going to work on the improvements pretty much live so y'all folks can see that you can correct any rig when you bring over the actual animatable rig from DeepMotion. So I did not know how to do it in my previous session, which was about 2 or 3 days ago, I believe. I think it was about 3 days ago, maybe 4 days ago, when I did a live session recently. So getting back to DeepMotion, when you bring the character over, maybe it's a custom rig or you're using their rig, it's pretty much, it might have some errors in terms of it having all of the motion and all the movements working the way that you actually moved in your webcam. So say this was you, you was moving around in any kind of environment and you chose to, record whatever you did, your motion, your physical movements, and then you tried to get it to animate itself using DeepMotion. It may not come out the way that you actually moved all the way. So that's what happened over here. And I'll show y'all folks how it actually looks in terms of the physical movements. So this was my physical movements that DeepMotion came up with, but you'll see it looks kind of weird and odd in terms of his moves. So this is where I put my hands up to some degree. If you don't see the original video side by side, you won't be able to see all the errors, but I just want y'all folks to see it. It doesn't look too great. Like some of the joints twist weird. I was lifting my knees up over here, and then the arms and the shoulders do a weird swing. This was actually a walk cycle. So humans don't really walk like that unless they're zombies. So let me go back a little bit so you can see that part. If y'all folks don't know anything about Blender, I highly recommend for y'all folks to start doing some research and learning. If you're interested in using 3D modeling as an option to create maybe animatable films or animated films, or maybe you're into gaming and you want to create game characters that are made in 3D. And here you go, you can see here that the neck looks kind of weird and off center. See how the neck got jerked to the side? So I'm going to show y'all folks some of these simple corrections that I figured out and I learned. A lot of this stuff I learned on my own, but I also was watching, I would say about 2 months ago, one of the 3D artists that are out there who create characters and create animations on Blender, and I forgot exactly his name, but I'll try to find his video throughout this live stream. Maybe I can find it so y'all folks can see who I was talking about I think it's Marcom or something like that. I forgot his exact channel name, but once I get to the channel, I'll try to give y'all folks, give him a shout out and give y'all folks the name of his channel. Now, this is how I intend to kind of fix some of these problems. I'm using what is known as the rig. These are different parts to the rig, or bones, as I should have said, but pretty much this is how you would get into the animation. And excuse me, on Blender you have to be in pose mode. So my character was already in pose mode, so that's why I didn't mention how you would get into it. But if you never did it before and you're not familiar with it, learn a little bit about posing your character for animations, or animatable poses, or animation poses. You can type that onto Google and then type in Blender, and you should be able to find a lot of videos, tons of videos on Google or YouTube, and that will help you to catch up to learn a little bit about how animation works. So what I just did, I corrected only one of the frames. Down here, they have keyframes. You see these little not triangles, but diamonds or boxes. They look like diamonds because they twisted to the, to a different angle. So these are like indicators of each frame of motion. So it didn't correct it 100% because I did not have this thing checked, which is known as auto keying. So this is almost like a record button. You can select it and it turns blue with your left click mouse button, and that will allow you to auto key every motion that you choose to put into the character based on the keyframes. So based on these frames that you see here, these little diamond shapes will be indicators that you actually stored a particular move or motion based on the pose and the positional orientation that the bones are oriented at. So a good example, let me go back and undo a few times so you can see that corrected pose. So let me go back one more time. Hold on one second. Right there. So if I go back that far, I can get some corrections to fix the bone exactly where it's at. So that way I can get it to approximately where I wanted it. And now what it's going to do is apply a new keyframe in that particular position. And I'll move this one as well. Now those keyframes are stored. So it overwrites on top of the previous keyframe, if that makes any sense. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move back the motion, and you should see the head jump. But it did not do it. For some reason it did not do it. It was doing it when I was actually trying to fix it. So let me try. Oh, you know why I didn't do it? Because I forgot to select the auto keyframing again. So let me go back and make sure I have this checked, make sure this is blue, and then I'll just move it a little bit, and then move this particular bone a little bit slightly, and then you'll see there goes a keyframe that just entered in there in between these two keyframes. So you see where this blue indicator is for the timeline. This is known as the Blender timeline, the bottom area here with all these diamonds. And pretty much, if you put any keyframes anywhere in the timeline, it's going to show up. So either you can do it manually, you can go to pose and then animation and insert keyframes. You can also use a hotkey, which it looks like I believe it's the L key. Let me see. Or the I key. Okay, it looks like the I key. So it's the I key on the keyboard, on your keyboard. You can do it that way. You can do it this way, and you also, I believe, can do it. Looks like you can do it this way. I don't know how to do it this way, but there's multiple ways to do it. But auto keying is a lot easier. So let me move it back so you can see the head is gonna jump up. Boom. See, it jumps up. So now, with that being said, you can do that for every single frame that you see the head having an issue. So wherever you see the head way off to the side, you can correct it. Or you can just simply copy this keyframe and delete all the other ones that are having the issue. So find out where the head went too far, and it's probably here and here, and just delete those keyframes. And then take this keyframe, use your keyboard and do Control C, and then use Control V wherever you want to place the new keyframes. So like that. So it should correct it, but I think because it's moving in a different position, it's not going to correct it exactly. So let's see. Actually, we should have a break in the type of motion it is. So we would have to change another frame. That's probably what it is. So hold on one second. I'm not really that great at all this stuff, but I'm learning how to do it to some degree. And this one should be rotated a little bit this way, like that. Okay, so that broke the line right there. I don't know why it jumped back. Shouldn't have jumped back. But if I delete, how about if I move this one over here? There we go. No. That's corrected. This is not. Well, seems like copying them doesn't really do it. But, oh, it's because I copied the wrong one. Okay, there we go. So we'll take this and this out. Let's try to delete those out. And then we'll take this one and copy it. Probably that's what it is. And then Control V. Control V. And Control V. There we go. So now that's corrected. There we go. So see how it's not bent like a crazy bent neck. And there we go. So that's a good correction. That's not bad. But this is bad here. So we can just do that one manually and just move the head up a little bit. And that will fix, hold on. Yeah, that one needs a correction on that bone here. So we'll just do a little bit like that. Okay, so out here, this needs to be deleted. Delete that keyframe. Let's go back. And all these keyframes need to be deleted. There we go. Now the reason why it's turning like that is because the rest of the body's turning and the head bone is not turning. So we'll just fix that. And fix that. And fix that. Seems like some other keyframes is in there that I have to get rid of. So let me get rid of that one. There we go. That looks better. That doesn't look good. Hold on a second. Let's fix this one. And then go to this one. Hold on. You can turn the head a little bit. Like that. Okay. Delete that one. And I think that's good. Boom. So let's play it and see how it looks. Wow, it's moving pretty fast. So that was pretty fast, but you get what I'm saying. It's moving very, very quickly. But if you fix all of the frames, it won't look too crazy. Now, in terms of the movement, certain parts of the movement, like you see how the arm moved here? You gotta fix that for sure. So the movement of the arm, we can sway it this way and rotate that like so. So it's not so crazy. This one got to be deleted. And I believe this one's going to have to be deleted too. So you test them by keep constantly moving it. We'll take this and rotate it so it could look normal like that. And it looks like some of the other keyframes will keep popping up. Okay. That's not good, so let's delete that one. And move it like that. That's not good, so move it that way. And we're going to rotate this one out a little bit. There we go. So that looks like normal motion. See that? A little bit better. That one's not good, so we want to delete this keyframe here and select the bone there and then rotate kind of like that. So I actually like doing animation this way as opposed to me trying to animate every single thing myself, you know, moving bone after bone after bone. And I did videos in the past where I was trying to learn animation on Blender without having a mocap solution, but this definitely bypasses the mocap solution plus having to do all the bones individually on my own. And that's a huge task compared to what I'm doing here. This is just individual bone corrections based on positional keyframes of where things have errors at. So all you're doing is cleaning up the animation basically. Like as you can see, the leg positioning doesn't look too great. It kind of looks like he has a problem with his legs. His body is not oriented properly with the legs. So with that, I can move it where it kind of has a better orientation like that. And I got a call, so hold on one second. Let me pick up the call. Actually, hey baby, yeah, I'm downstairs. I'm doing a video, but yeah, I'm not getting any more, so I'm gonna retire and then start early tomorrow. Yeah, all right, babe. All right, so here we go. We got this going. Actually, let me get rid of the cube that's down there. Go to object mode. The cube is in the way, so you can't really see his foot. And let me put on some texture so you can see a little bit as to what's going on. Let me hide this bone. Go into edit mode. Oops, not edit mode. Into pose mode. And hide this bone. So hit the H key. And there we go. So now we're here. You can see the foot. The foot looks kind of oriented really weird. But, you know, you can work on all of the angles and things like that. It just takes time to correct every single position based on the keyframes. But a lot of it's going to be really distorted while you're moving the character. See, like a lot of the motion is kind of messed up. So you got to go in and really work on every single keyframe that you can to reposition it so that it doesn't look like a zombie walking and it actually looks like a human's walking. So it may take a lot of work, but it beats having to do everything from scratch. That's what I believe. That's why I like this DeepMotion tool that gives us a different option to play around with Blender. And you can learn a lot more about animation too just by using your own motion through your webcam via DeepMotion. So I think that's pretty dope. It'll teach you a lot more about animation, you know, how animation works, and maybe in the future you can become an animator. I know I'm working on trying to become an animator myself, so I got a lot of work to go and a lot of work to do pretty much. But definitely this is pretty cool. So let's see what I did. See how the leg is kind of offset. I think it's actually the rotation of the spine that's a problem too. Like it should be like that. So it's really off. But that's not going to fix it. That's basically only going to fix that one frame. And all the rest of the frames will be messed up. See how he's like tilting to the side? That's not a good thing at all. So all that has to be corrected. It will take a long time to correct it, but I just wanted to show y'all folks that you can correct it frame by frame, which I didn't realize how easy it is in terms of doing each bone. But it takes time, so it's pretty much time consuming doing each bone, and frame by frame kind of fixes and stuff like that. But it's definitely worth it, I think, because it will somewhat solve a lot of problems that you have already confronted when you was trying to like learn how to make Blender work for you and all those things, and maybe animation hasn't been your strong point, stuff like that. Like for me, animation has been my weakest point based on my learning process in Blender. So it's going to take me a while, like I said, for me to pick up the knowledge and the abilities, the skills, and it's just a matter of doing it. You know, repetition, the more you do something in repetition, the more you start to pick up the skill and you get better and better at it. So that's basically what I'm going for here. And see how this keyframe is messed up. So I can go in and I can fix all of those. Let me delete that one. And you see how it backed up? Kind of fixed it a little bit. And that's now I got a new keyframe in there. So from there from here to here is not that bad. But from here to here, that's really bad. So I have to get rid of this one and work on repositioning that like that. Boom. And then I would have to work on the rest of the body as well, like I said. So I think you can work on two bones at the same time in terms of rotation. So say I wanted to rotate this bone, and that bone. Oops. I pressed the A key by mistake. Say this bone and the spinal cord. Say you wanted to move those in conjunction with each other. So you can do that, I believe. And one thing though I don't know how to do is to keep this stationary while I'm moving those bones. The reason why everything else is going to rotate when you rotate the hip bone is because it's everything is parented to the hip bone, so it has to follow it. So I believe that's how that works. If y'all don't know about parenting, I highly recommend for you to research about that regarding Blender, because bones basically are parented to each other and they become part of the whole body. You know, that's how they make it work. It's a digital connection point that ties them together. Some of them are parented in an offset way, and some of them are parented directly connected to each joint. So like here, and this joint and this joint, like the ankle joint and all these different joints you see. And then these are parented to the leg bones, and basically the leg bones, the thigh bones is connected to the hip bone, but it's an offset so that you don't see it. It has like parent relationship lines that you can show up to on the screen. So let me see if I could show that real quick. Where's the relationship lines? Origin? No. Pose? No. I think the relationship lines is somewhere down here where it says viewport. No, that's the axes. Names. Here goes the names of all the bones. Actually, this is the pelvis bone. It's not the hip bone, but in some character models, I believe this is the hip bone. But this is based on a naming that someone else gave it from the Make Human software. Whoever named it from Make Human. Axes, we don't need that. Yeah, where is the... Hold on one second. Let me take the names out. Where is the relationship line? Here goes the relationship lines right here. So it should indicate the relationships. but I'm not sure. Let's go to edit. I think in edit mode you should be able to see it. Yeah, here it is. So here goes the relationship lines. I don't know if you can see it, but see these little dash lines here? So that they tied together from those lines. And then there's a big bone down here. You see that? Where this is tied to. So if I move this bone, let's go back to pose mode. Can't really see it because I have it hidden. So let's go to alternate H. If I move this bone, it should move everything. See that? So that it's all tied together with that bone. So yeah, I mean, you have to figure out stuff like that, and it's kind of tough to understand how to do, because it just takes time to figure it out. See, I just now kind of bent the spine the wrong direction, wrong angle. You're not really supposed to bend the spine like that. Instead, you should fix this and correct this. But I would have to correct this across the whole entire timeline, and that would take a lot of work. So I'm not going to show all that. But pretty much, you know what I mean. Hopefully you understand that. Let's undo all of those moves that I did, just so I could fix that one move. There we go, right there. So that's that. Let's go back to the beginning and show a lot of the error here. So it's not that much error starting out. As you can see, it's just an idle pose that I started with. Got my neck and head moving really good. But then the errors will start to pop up. You'll see over time. There's an error right here with the hand. See how the hand is twisted like out like this? I didn't want my hand to be like that. So I would have to rotate going this way and change the angle. It's kind of bent out of shape, it looks like, or twisted the wrong direction. I don't know. What's wrong with the bone? Something wrong with the bone, actually. So it might be on the wrong axes. So when it was rigged, it probably wasn't rigged correctly. Should have been rigged correctly, but I don't know. It looks like something's wrong with it. But I can tell because of how this part of the elbow, the inner part of the elbow, is rotated the wrong direction, I think. Even to the fact of this right here, kind of not in the right position. But it's okay. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. But you'll see how the hand is kind of positioned really weird. All right, so there you go with the knee. Let's go back in the timeline and try to put the timeline somewhere here. Where's the timeline at? Let's move it. Actually no. We gotta move with the timeline over here to fix it. So instead of moving the timeline, we went to the timeline. So let's go back and get where the knee buckles right there. See the knee buckling in? So to fix that, we're gonna start here. We're gonna delete all these keyframes, or we can use the keyframes to our benefit, but in terms of following where the errors are at. And we're going to zoom in a little bit so we can move in between the keyframes. But it starts around there. So what you want to do is just move the bones apart so it doesn't twist like that. Definitely want to move them. And just look at where the feet are twisting. So that's that one. This one we're going to delete. We're going to move this one over a little bit. like that. See, so it's going to try to take it back if you keep moving. So you want to change this one as well. And this one. Still looks kind of weird because of the rotation. I don't know how it's rotating, but somehow the rotation is not right. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad, but you definitely want to fix those things. Let's see, rotate this way. There we go. So it's the actual rotation of the, what axis is this? Looks like it's the Z axis, rotating around the Z axis, which is the vertical axis. So we having a Z axis issue. Let's delete this one. Go back. Select that one. That's not too bad. Select this one. Go here. Select that keyframe. And fix that one. So let's get rid of this keyframe. Okay. And go a little bit further. Let me see if anybody's in the actual on the channel asking questions or whatever. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna see if I could try to answer some questions at this moment, but for the most part, I don't know. I'm not that great at this kind of part, this aspect, this element of Blender, but I'm just learning, so you're getting to see my learning phase and stages. Let's see. So this one, I think I have to delete this one. Let's see. Yeah, it's really extreme, the error. Delete that keyframe. Go to the next one. It's this one. And there we go. Rotate that one. And rotate this one. And rotate a little more. And reposition that. Move this out. And reposition this. Okay. So, hold on one second. Oh, it's jumping back and forth, so I don't know if I have to get rid of that keyframe. Let me delete that one. Yeah, it's very jumpy, so I probably should have deleted all the keyframes and then did each individual keyframe one by one. I think I recommend for folks to do that instead of the way I'm doing it, because the way I'm doing it may cause a lot more loss of time. So just delete all the keyframes, so you can like left click and drag in, select all the keyframes that you believe are the ones causing a problem, and then build them all from scratch. So we'll hit delete. To delete it, you got to be in this section over here for the timeline. Then it comes up with delete keyframes. So there we go. But the other main issue is that you have to deal with each bone that you tried to correct previously, if you did get in and try to correct them. So I would have to delete all of them for each bone, or else it's gonna still have a problem. So let's see how it actually looks. But yeah, those problems are definitely gonna cause a lot of how would you say, visual impairments. So your character might look like he's a little crippled or whatever. So let's see. Yep. It's having issues with the walk cycle. That's what it is. Like the transition from one position to the next. And I think a lot of these problems are coming up with how I chose to record it. Because like in my house where we recorded it at, I don't have a contrasting background. So where I was walking, I didn't have anything contrasting with the colors of my clothes that I was wearing. So it's probably creating problems with whatever's in the background of my scene. So you would have to go on to DeepMotion and read the details of different stuff. So you have to sign in, log in, and read the details as to how to better and improve your video data that you submit. So whenever you submit your video, basically your video is going to be how would you say, scanned by the AI system, and the AI system will produce the transferred data after it tracks your body motion. Excuse me. So it does an AI tracking of your body, and then it sends that communications to the rig, and then once it's tied into your rig and all of it's done, it will send it in. So basically each bone will move based on your movement that you actually did in the real world that you recorded in video. And then you pretty much have to look up, like I said, you got to look that detail up and see if you can minimize the amount of errors. So it gives you a little listing of the best ways to do it. Let me see if I can get in and try to log in so you can see what I'm talking about. So let me look in. Before that, I'm gonna look into the video and see who's tuning in. Give me a little second. 1 second. I'm gonna jump in and see for my live session on my phone and try to make sure the audio is down. All right, nobody's actually here. So, oh, somebody is here. We got Flavio from Brazil. What's up, Flavio? What's going on? Thanks a lot for showing up. If you're still here, tuning in. All right, so let me jump in real quick. I gotta log in, and from there I should be able to show y'all folks what I was talking about. So since I'm doing all this live, it's not easy to, just bust things out so y'all could see exactly what I'm saying. It takes a little time for me to figure out what I have to do next. So, all right, we're gonna go into Animate 3D Cloud or whatever. So this is how it starts. And let me go back for those who never seen this before. But pretty much this is like the welcome portal and the dashboard for when you're getting into using DeepMotion. If you've seen my previous video, you'll see what I had to do to get in through all of this stuff. So we're gonna click Animate 3D, or you can go over here where it says Animate 3D. It pretty much leads you to the same location. Once you get it on the screen, then you can go in and select default or select custom. So I actually created a custom character. So we'll just go to custom just as if I was doing it myself. Now, one thing I like about DeepMotion is stores your previous character build, or available characters, I should say. So whatever custom characters that you used in the past, it stores it in there. So I don't recommend for you to put too many models in there, because then you may actually use up all the free version that you have. And right now, DeepMotion is free for now for those who are trying to use the 3D animation part. and pretty much to test it to see if they want to use it as an option. I don't know how long it's going to be free, but I'm sure they have limitations, but they haven't mentioned much about it. But pretty much this is free for now. So say I wanted to go with this model, or I wanted a new character, whatever the case may be, I'll put select model so you can see what I'm talking about. Over here it says for best results, and what that is in reference to is the type of video that you put in. So you can put in different formats of videos, MP4, MOV, or AVI, and by doing so, that, like I said, goes into their cloud communications, and it basically submits the movement data, motion data of you, or maybe it's a subject like somebody else that you chose to record, who maybe it's like a stuntman or somebody's doing flips, who's really good at acrobats and doing, gymnastics or something like that, or whatever. Any kind of physical display of a human being doing some sort of movements and motion. They break down over here for best results how to record that video. So over here it says camera, you should be stationary and parallel to your subject. So basically the camera should be on a tripod. That's what I recommend. So if you don't have a tripod, I highly recommend for y'all folks to go purchase a tripod. You can get a tripod 9 times out of 10 from Best Buy or some sort of camera store like B&H, and pretty much you'll be able to stabilize your camera. That's what they want you to do, and make sure it's horizontal, aka parallel to your subject. And then character placement, in terms of where you're going to put the person in view that you're going to record. The entire body from head to toe should be visible. So make sure that the camera collects all of the body, no matter what motion you choose to put into that camera. So don't allow certain parts of the body to go out of the scope of the focus of the camera. Pretty much. Make sure that it's located between 2 to 6 meters or 6 to 20 feet from the camera. No more or no less of 6 to 20 feet. And then the lighting should be neutral lighting with high contrast between the subject and the background is recommended. So this is the part where I kind of messed up, I believe, because in my home we don't have any contrast. There's no high contrast differential. It's just kind of dim lighting, which is kind of neutral, but it's not really that good in the living room. So I might have to try it outside on the grass, because the grass is green, and my clothes will 9 times out of 10 be like blue jeans and maybe a jacket because it's cold outside. In terms of wearing jackets and hoodies and all that, they don't recommend it, but it doesn't say it here. But it says here, it says do not wear loose clothing or clothing that covers key joints like knees and elbows. So that's the clothing part. Size, it says max video length allowed is 60 seconds and max size is 50 megabytes. So this might increase for those who are going to decide to make the purchase of this particular software, DeepMotion Cloudware, because it's all based on having a web browser on the internet and tying into the internet. Kind of like Mixamo. If you ever tried Mixamo before, Mixamo, the website by Adobe, if you ever use that for animations, it's very similar to that part in terms of having a website that supplies animations or animatable files, FBX files. So Occlusion, pretty much this is, I guess, the map in terms of like the mapping data, but actually it's what you're doing to block the view of the subject. So the subject should not be occluded by any objects, and there should be a single subject in the motion clip. So don't have multiple people walking around behind the character or in front of the character. Make sure it's just one person in the video. No animals or moving objects and things like that may actually trip up the AI, so the AI will assume that there's the arm is somewhere else in the head and the motion of the body and all that. Just make sure you have everything separated and have it just that subject in view. That's what they recommend. Other than that, that's it for that part. I just wanted to talk about that because when it comes to the motion of the body, like, it's really important to have everything segmented and do it based on their best results. So let me show you in this one. This character motion is a lot better. I fixed her head motion. I did not fix the legs, but I did some of the improvement on the legs, not that much. I didn't fix everything. But if you see my previous video, you can see that she moves a lot better, and her neck is not all broken and crazy. So this is the one that I actually learned. I learned how to correct the animations regarding the certain parts of the bones not working right. So that's with the actual rig. Let me take the rig and hide it so y'all folks can check that out real quick. But we'll go to, this is like some of the controls for the rig and stuff like that. I'm gonna hide the rig's bones or whatever, and I'll hide the rest of it so you can see the full motion. And I put a ground plane, so I added a surface to it, a mesh. So I added a plane, and then I basically put lights in there in the scene so it could look like it's something instead of it floating around in space. So let me move this up so you can see a little better and kind of see her head and her face and everything. This should look pretty cool. So we're gonna go back, and she starts at a T pose, by the way. And we'll move this over, and then I'll try to hide everything. So we hit the N, the T key, and let's select all. Actually, let's hide everything else. Boom. And then hit the play button. So you can see it doesn't look too bad. So there we go. I fixed a lot of the crazy head bops, but it's still doing some head motion, moving back and forth. But I think that looks pretty decent, even though head motion is kind of crazy. Now this character was in a pretty occluded area where there was other people in it and all that stuff, and there's a lot of things in the background, but for some reason it came out pretty good. So it's actually a lady who is tap dancing and throwing her legs up and all kinds of different stuff. So it looks pretty cool. I think this is interesting, the way it came out. She doesn't look bad. This is a Make Human character, by the way. What I like is how the clothing actually, for some reason, the clothing actually is moving. It's swaying and moving and moving to the contours of her dance motion, which I didn't know Blender is that good at that, but it is. Only some parts you can see are breaking the skin. Look at that. So when she's moving, you can see the clothes flex and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool that it can do it. It can do that. That Blender can do all of that stuff. And the fact that I came up with this character on the fly using Make Human, it's pretty dope. So other than that, that's that part, just to show y'all folks that it works. So whatever I did over here, showing y'all folks the different things that I did to fix each of the keyframes. I'm not going to go through everything because it's going to take a lot longer time to make this live stream video, but just wanted y'all folks to see. Now let me go to that channel that I was talking about on YouTube. I think it's Marcom channel. Let me type in Marcom. Marcom. Let's type in Blender. Yeah, this is it, Marcom. So this guy right here, Marcom, I highly recommend for y'all folks to check out his videos regarding, most definitely if you're interested in animation, I should say, and animations, because I think he's doing like really good stuff with animation. I think he was doing trying to create a film. So here goes some of his animation work here. As you can see, really cool stuff that he's working on, trying to create film stuff. And I learned a lot about just corrections and things like that for animation. I watched some of his videos, and I remembered when I was creating this video or working on some of this newer stuff that I'm doing. I remembered a lot of stuff he was doing, so it's helping me. Just my memory of what he was doing in the past is helping me to fix a lot of stuff that I'm going through now. So it's amazing. Like you can watch tons of videos, and years back, even if it's years back, in your mind, somewhere in your mind, it could be triggered to actually help you. Even though you wasn't up to that knowledge at that point when you first learned it, at least you can go back and check out some of the stuff that you watched before. Now talking about that, in terms of checking out stuff that you watched before, my whole entire channel is dedicated to what is known as social curation. So I curate other people's videos. So say I found some of his videos interesting and very useful, you can go on my channel and you can find a lot of his stuff that I curated. Just go to playlists on my channel, on the FPC Virtual channel, and then go to Blender or animation, and you'll find all of that stuff that I recorded. And let me turn the audio off because I'm just showing y'all folks like some of the stuff that you can check out. So there's tons of stuff going on YouTube. And so how do you track it all? Well, I track it because whenever I watch a video, it feeds, and whenever I subscribe to a channel, it feeds the information in. This one is AutoRig Pro, a recent video I just watched. Pretty cool video. I'm gonna get back into it to find out how it works, but right now I'm not using that actual tool. But the best way to do it, say you wanted to create a playlist and stuff like that. I don't know if you ever created a playlist. I highly recommend for you to do it with your smartphone. But if you don't have a smartphone, you just go on a video like this. Let me go back to the video, expand it, pause it, and then go to where it says save. So you know where you have the thumbs up, thumbs down, share. You go to the save button and you click this little plus, and then you can create your playlist from the bottom. You click create and you just type in whatever you want to call it. Say it was animation, you just type in animation or whatever. Look at that, I got it in all caps, which is okay. So say you wanted that, then you would hit enter, and then it would create an animation folder or a playlist. And I don't want to do that, but I just wanted to show y'all folks. Let me do it again. So say you already have your playlist in there. Now you can just scroll to your playlist. So I got mine set up for Blender, animation, and 3D modeling. So all these playlists is where this video falls into. It may fall into one or multiple playlists, whatever ones that you choose. And then whenever you watch videos, you just keep doing it. And over the years, it creates tons of playlists. So I got so many playlists. For animation, I got 670 videos that's in there, and a vast majority of them are not mine. For Blender, I got 1.9 thousand videos in it. So this is years. This is years of reviewing and watching videos, and some of the videos I watch over and over again. So I've done it for tons of topics and subjects. So that's why I like my channel is actually a community. It's a true community of tons of YouTube creators. A vast majority of them I don't even know. So most YouTubers I don't know, in person. I don't know them in real life or anything. I haven't even communicated to them other than on their videos. So I communicate on their videos just like anybody else, but 9 times out of 10 they don't know who I am. But it's all good. Nobody has to know who you are to create a playlist. So you just create the playlist and you keep it moving. So another thing about your channel, I just wanted to show y'all folks, for those who wanted to watch towards the end of the video, how it could benefit you by creating playlists to keep track of tons of stuff that's going on. And this is a way for you to help improve on your learning, education, and things like that. So this is the main channel for anybody's channel. So this is my main channel for FPC Virtual. But on the main channel, I got uploads. I have different playlists that are showcased to all my viewers. So I can be actually creating playlists for everyone that chooses to watch my videos, not just for myself. So whoever's watching, they can go into the different topics that I choose to feature. See, I got technology here, technology, apps, robotics, animation. So this is where it benefits other YouTubers as well, where I can pretty much pay it forward for them and showcase what I have here. And other than that, I'm out of here. I gotta go because it's time for me to hit the rack and go to sleep. It's kind of late, and I got somebody calling me, by the way. But other than that, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see y'all folks in the next video, the next video, the next video. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and catch my latest. But I'll be trying to do some more on rigging and things like that, animation, because that's what I'm into right now. So whatever I'm into, I create videos on it. That's what I've been doing since I started on YouTube. But other than that, I am out. Joe Love and Peace All, Mike Pugh signing off. I'll see you in the next videos, like I said. Oh, and feel free to hit that bell. There's a bell button somewhere after around the subscribe if you want to get my latest videos. And that's it. I'm out. Peace.